Good morning, guys. Back again. I just had to pass the dog walkers. I had to stop my video while we got past them. It's okay, they put their dog on the lead. Don't know if you can even see them there, they're a long way past us. Yes, so, right, other things we can talk about, guys. I'm trying to do bits of everything, just so you guys don't get bored with this, because I know a lot of you have heard all these stories before. Right, my occupation, motor mechanic. I've been a motor mechanic since I left school at the age of 16. I did a four-year apprenticeship. Going to college, I did day and block release to college for 4 years, and also in-garage training. Passed everything, passed the lot. At the end of my apprenticeship, it was a 4-year apprenticeship, my contract finished. It was a 4-year apprenticeship and that was the contract. At the end of the 4 years, what usually happened, go on guys, off you go please, is that the garage you were doing your apprenticeship with would employ you full-time. Didn't happen with me. What happened was we went into a recession. As soon as my apprenticeship had finished, we hit a recession and the work just dried up at the garage. And so the manager of the garage, there's four apprentices, all finished at the same time. So he called us into his office one at a time and explained that due to the current financial position or conditions, that they would be unable to offer us a place at the garage when our apprenticeship's finished. And he said that was the first time this had ever happened, but unfortunately his hands were tied and that's how it was going to go. So it was. So once I got to the 4 years from when I'd started, I was out of work. So I say I was out at work. I walked straight into another job. I literally finished at my old garage one day, and the next day I started at a new garage, guys. And I've done that my whole life. I have never ever been out of work in all the years I've been a motor mechanic. I've always just walked straight into another job. So my next job was at a Datsun garage. That was when Datsun was Datsun and not Nissan as they are now. And I worked there for 3 years. That was the first time I'd worked on Japanese cars. And I couldn't get over how reliable the things were. They were so reliable. And it made me think. The cars I'd done my apprenticeship on were Vauxhalls. And they were pretty unreliable back in the day, always breaking down. The Japanese cars, absolutely bulletproof. They weren't very good bodywork wise, they used to just fall to bits. But mechanically, they were really well put together. Anyway, after 3 years, the Vauxhall garage where I'd already done my apprenticeship was advertising for a new mechanic, so I applied and got the job back. So I was then back into Vauxhalls. I stayed there for another 6 years, working on the Vauxhalls. Had a great time. It was this time that I'd met and married my wife during these 6 years. But I eventually moved on, and I moved on to a body shop. Now this body shop was a bit of a sideways step for me because I'd never gone to a body shop before, but I was still a mechanic, but working for them, doing mechanical work, as in service work, strip fit work, rebuild work, suspension work, all that sort of thing. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. That was probably the most enjoyable job I've had in my whole career. It was really satisfying to get a car that comes in with 2 wheels missing and all the suspension torn out, and to see that car go out like a brand new car again at the end of the day. It was lovely. It was a really good job. I had to leave there after I'd been there. I went there in 89 and I finished there in 95. And I only left because they got into financial trouble. The bank that was supporting the business took over the running of the business, and I decided that I had a mortgage to pay. I had a wife and 2 young children. I decided it was probably a good idea to look for another job. So I did, and I went back to that Vauxhall garage again. 3rd time. I won't do it again, guys. But that was the 3rd time I went back to Vauxhalls. I stayed there for another 4 years. and then I moved on, to Suzuki's. I went to work for Suzuki. Again, fantastic move, a really, really good move. Really enjoyed it. I stayed there for another 4 years, and then I moved on to Toyota, and that was in Colchester Toyota. I stayed there for 5 years. Then I went from there, because I got made redundant from there because we went through a very quiet spell again. So I then went to the independent garages. I did a whole batch of independent garages, guys. I enjoyed that, a real eye-opener. Oh, there's somebody else coming down towards me now. So I'm going to have to stop the video again, guys, and we'll start it in a second. Okay, right, it's Basie Bay.